Alex asked about subscription models for books. He put out an example of this one where it's kind of done through Patreon. And subscription books is something I've thought about a lot. I've been trying for years to make this model happen. And originally, what I thought is that you do it as like a magazine, because obviously magazines already have a strong subscription model. So you could do like a useful nonfiction magazine. There's also some cute stuff with newspapers, where in London, for example, they print the newspapers super early in the morning, and the rest of the day all the newspaper printing machines are sitting idle. So there's services like Newspaper Club, which let you basically buy up the idle time from these newspaper printing machines and print your own, which is really cool. And stuff like that, I think it's got the right form factor and the right product positioning to sort of make sense as a subscription, as a physical thing. You can also do it online. Online's a little bit trickier, but obviously that's what this guy's doing, Dragon, and that's what I did with Write Useful Books, wherever it is. Okay, so over here, so the way I ran Write Useful Books is I originally started doing free beta readers, and then people could start to pre-order it for $24 flat, and then as part of that pre-order, they also got access to a community. And then once I felt more confident about the community and I had an initial group of authors, so I felt like it was valuable, the book launched and the book went on to Amazon, and then the community became a separate subscription product. So that was the way I transitioned through from free beta reading to paid one-time early access to splitting out just finished pre-orders from ongoing community. And the way that looked, I screenshotted this because I couldn't find a way to remove partial information from my Gumroad. But this is the Gumroad for Write Useful Books. So you can see down here there were 173 one-time pre-orders. I believe it was originally 24. We reduced the price after launch. And so that was 4,000 in kind of one-time pre-orders. And some of that group became the seed audience for the community. And once there were about 80 or 100 of them, we started charging the subscription for the community, which now has 100 or so paying members. So that's just 2,000 MR, 1.8. And that, I think, to me, is the best subscription model for nonfiction right now. It's like to wrap a community around it. There's others, like, for example, Steph Smith with Doing Content Right. Whatever. It's on a different Gumroad account. But she's kind of done rolling updates all through Gumroad. So people buy it early, and then when they bought it early, it was a little bit cheaper, and she just sent out content updates through there. I liked the extra engagement of the community, especially because I'm building a bigger business on top of it. We're eventually going to do publishing stuff. We've already got software, so it's the whole outcome-oriented community model that I talked about in a different YouTube video. I won't repeat that, but it's this bring the member along a journey. The book acts as top of funnel education and goal setting, and then you've got software education support to get them to their goal and basically help them to implement the advice from the book. So what I did is this is my Amazon royalties for the first 6 months of the newest book. So you can see it started out at about just over 2,000. And then December was, I don't know, 8,500, something like that. 8.3 is right there. So that pretty quickly overtook the pre-orders, but a book doesn't grow like this normally unless you've done a lot of testing and you found the seed audience and you've unlocked the early evangelists and the testimonials. And all of that is a huge non-financial but very substantial benefit to doing your kind of this early access into community, starting with beta readers, going through that whole flow, because it exposes you to a ton of reader feedback and iteration. So you get like a little bit of upfront revenue, like pre-order revenue, but the real goal is this. And I'd expect this to continue. January is better than this, and it'll cruise past it'll cruise past the 10,000 a month mark pretty quickly. So the questions for subscription books to me is like the answer is community. So this is the new authors community for Write Useful Books. We've got 100 people or whatever, and setting up a community is hard. It's this whole thing that I'm writing about right now is about outcome oriented community. That's going to be my next Next book about the stuff I'm learning and trying and struggling with. So it's hard, but if you want to build a whole business around the kind of the ideas and the thought leadership and the process in your book, wrapping a community around it, I think, is absolutely the best model. Just doing it as content updates, you can do it, but I don't think it's a natural fit for subscription. And if anyone does a magazine or a comic book based like a subscription physical nonfiction or a newspaper based one, let me know, because I would love to see some examples of that. I think that's an awesome model, but it's not something that I'm in a position to do. So this one's Lulu, and this one's a Newspaper Club, and there's a few others like that. But yeah, subscription nonfiction, it makes sense, especially when the real value proposition is about the accountability, the habit change, etc. I think it's going to be a really, really strong model for indie creators, coaches, thought leaders, authors, writers, all of that going forward, because you can make a much better living off a much smaller audience, which allows you to niche down more. And the more you can niche down, the easier it is to make the best book in the world for them. Not for everyone, but for that group of people. And that's what you need to unlock the evangelism, the recommendation, etc.